Well, now the Kenya Academy of Sports that was established under Section 33 of the Sports Act number 25 of 2013. Their motto, of course, being beyond sporting talent. Their mandate has been to develop sports talents through establishment and management of academies, training and research for global competitiveness and sustainable socio-economic growth in Kenya. Well, that is the basis of our interview tonight, whereby we are focusing on sport development that includes identifying talent and developing talent. And in studio, we are joined by members. Well, we have a member from the Kenya Academy of Sports here, that is Mr. Douglas Ratemo. And of course, we're also joined by the Chairlady of FC Talanta, that is Wanjiru Mahihu. And also in studio, we're joined by one of the players of Talanta FC, that is Gideon. Thank you very much for joining us in studio, guys. And maybe the first question I'm going to pose to Mr. Ratemo. Maybe you can tell us a brief history of the Kenya Academy of Sport.
Well, thank you, Mr. Munga. Yeah, the Kenya Academy of Sports. The Kenya Academy of Sports came into being through the Sports Act 2013. That's when it was established, among other institutions, Sports Kenya, the Sports Fund, Sports Tribunal, and also the Sports Registrar. And the mandate of the Kenya Academy of Sports is purely to provide specialized training to talented sports persons in the country. And this is basically to develop them to become professional. We realize that in the past, we have always depended upon, federations have always looked for the players who are already developed. Maybe they are out of school, but we have never had a deliberate structure where we developed sports talent. And now that's where the Sports Academy is coming in with that mandate to develop talent from as early as under 10 years old. Okay. And that's what we have been doing in the recent past. However, before the Kenya Academy of Sports, we used to have the National Youth Talent Academy. The National Youth Talent Academy, NYTA, as it was commonly known, was also an organization which was co-founded by the UNICEF and the ministry then called Sports and Youth Affairs. Okay, and of course, most might be wondering that we're talking about the Kenya Academy of Sports, whose mandate, of course, is to identify talent, grow the sport and all that. But instead, we're joined by members of FC Talanta. So maybe, Madam Wanjiru, how does Talanta FC come into all this?
Okay. We are a brainchild of the Kenya Academy of Sports. Furthermore, we are actually from National Youth Academy. Okay. Yeah, Talent Academy. Now, one of the things that I would say is one of the brainchilds of the Kenya Academy of Sports is to nurture youth and youth talent from whichever sports they come from. And they actually go out because they have a nationwide tap. So they're able to get children from all areas of the country and all counties, because of the outreach that they have. And we also want to commend the Ministry of Sports for that, which is where they fall under. Okay. And so they're able to get all these children and nurture their talent and be able to bring them into the Kenya Academy of Sports. Okay. And some of them fall into one of our very prosperous academies, which is the FC Talanta. Okay. And right now, which we'll talk about that later, is one of a very, very successful program that they've actually started, and they've managed to get its sponsors, and it's doing very well. Okay. Yeah. And of course, the player, let's talk to Gideon for a moment. You've been a player of Talanta FC for how long? We need you to maybe tell us more on that. And how has the season been so far? Of course, for those who don't know, FC Talanta participates in the National Super League, which is the second tier level of football here in Kenya after the Kenya Premier League. So maybe how has the season been so far?
I've been at FC Talanta. This is for my second year now. Mm-hmm. We are playing at the National Super League. this current season, we just played our 10th match of the season today. We are currently sitting third on the log of the National Super League. The league is not easy. We are about 20 teams. The competition is very high. Majority of teams have prepared well. But all of us players were determined. We want to move to the next level come next season. So we are really working hard to ensure that this coming season, or the next season now, we'll be moving to the Kenya Premier League. Okay.
Yeah. And of course, the Kenya Academy of Sports doesn't only focus on football, Bwana Ratemo. So maybe you can talk about, just briefly, because of time's sake, what other sports have you guys been, let's say, promoting in the country at the moment? Which other sports are you recruiting kids to join in at the moment?
Munga, you're right that the Kenya Academy of Sports was established to develop all disciplines of sports. Mm-hmm. However, because of course we are young, we are not able to roll out all the disciplines. But I know we have already started working even in the curriculum. We have worked on in the process of developing a curriculum in cricket, mm-hmm. basketball, athletics, football, volleyball, and also golf. Mm-hmm. And we have programs across the country, which we have had most of the players in volleyball who have come through the Talent Academy, under 23. Most of them, the majority are actually coming from the National Youth Talent Academy. Mm-hmm. In football, especially the girls, most of the girls who are playing in the national, the Harambee Starlets, most of them came from the National Talent Academy, that is the Kenya Academy of Sports. And we have also started working, also working on rugby. And of course, during the recent past, we also now started working on baseball. Mm-hmm. That is probably the latest sport that we have embarked on.
Okay.
Yes.
And back to Madam Wanjiru. Mm-hmm. The Kenya Academy of Sports, mm-hmm. of course, identifies talents, let's say in this case, football talent.
Yes.
Is it fair to assume that maybe the kids who are coming up in football, whenever the KAS identifies, a good footballer, one mm-hmm. with a great future, mm-hmm. does it automatically mean that the footballer will, automatically first be integrated into Talanta FC?
Now, what we do is, by the time you reach FC Talanta, you've really gone through a rigorous process. Mm-hmm. Because one of the things we want to do as a country is promote football in this country. Yeah. So we want to be able to sell our players. It sounds a bit crude when you say sell our players. But we want to expose you to the best talent in the world. And I believe that Kenya has that. Yeah? So we want you to be able to get into FC Milan, get into Liverpool, get into Tottenham, get into Arsenal. I don't know if you're an Arsenal player. Fan.
No, I'm not.
Yeah. So we really want to get those players which we believe Kenya has developed. Okay. And a lot of resource has been spent on those players. Mm-hmm. So we really want to expose them into that. So if those who don't get in, it doesn't mean it's the end of the world. We will get you into KPL is also paying very well. Mm-hmm. We want to encourage other sponsors to support KPL. Mm-hmm. Yeah, really support KPL. Let's stop the siasa of saying, we don't want to support national sports leagues, because they are supporting families and they're young people. Okay. And that's how we'll develop the sport in Kenya.
Okay. And back to Mr. Ratemo, briefly, please. Whenever, let's say like last year, at the end of last year, KAS had training camps for kids who, mm-hmm. let's say during the holiday period. Yes. Kids who are in school, they whenever it's the holiday period, you guys take them to training camps, mm-hmm. be it football, tennis, rugby, and all that. Mm-hmm. But how consistent is the training, considering the holiday season only takes, let's say, maximum 1 month? How do you ensure that you follow it up? By the time they're coming out of school, they can be integrated into, let's say, the normal clubs and whatnot.
Let me mention this, that currently we are working closely with the Ministry of Education and the TSC. And we are actually in the process of working on an MOU, a partnership whereby the Kenya Academy of Sports will have access to the schools so that these young people that are identified are placed in certain programs, in certain schools, whereby we may continue monitoring their progress, and they will continue under the tutorage of specialized coaches, so that we don't lose out. I agree with you that 2 months, 1 month is not enough.
Yeah.
For you to be developed fully, you need a certain period of time to be able to mature into an elite player. Let me say something about what Madam Wanjiru also, or probably echo what she said, is that the football is just one of the programs that became successful. We want other players to come on board, other corporates to come on board and support volleyball. But that was an exit strategy. And those who come, we don't develop our players to get into FC Talanta. It's only those who do not manage to get into better clubs. But we have FC Talanta as a platform where we bring them to develop more. So that while they're there, we don't want them to stay in FC Talanta. And probably that's why we have not won the Major League. Because our players, we offload them so that they can play there, and we also now go out and look for others and develop.
Okay. And now finally, let's end it with Gideon. FC Talanta currently obviously in the top 5 of the National Super League. Should we expect to see you guys in the Kenya Premier League next season?
As I've said earlier, we are really working hard. We have a fantastic group, fantastic coach, fantastic office. They're really working hard. We are also working hard. We know it's not easy, but we are really giving it a go. We hope that come the end of this season, that is in June, all of us, we are working towards achieving that major goal of being in the KPL the next season. Okay. I know it's not easy, but we are really going to give our best to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And obviously we wish you all the best in that. We're going to be keeping tabs on that. And of course, we thank you guys for giving us, your time here tonight. And we shall have you back for, let's say a longer interview. Better. Thank you very much for joining us here in studio.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
All the best.
Thank you.
Well, for the viewers, don't go too far. We shall be back after the break.